I'm Katie. I am a professional makeup artist, and I am here with makeup tutorials to help you get really good at doing your makeup. Today's tutorial will be all about bronzer, so if that sounds interesting to you, just keep watching. Today's video is all about bronzer, so I will be talking about what bronzer is, the different types of bronzer that there are, and where you would put bronzer on your face. So for today's video, I have my daughter Deanne here with me to help me out. Say hi, Deanne.
Hello.
So Deanne had a question when we first sat down that I thought was a good question that many of you may also have. So what was that question about bronzer?
What's the difference between bronzer and contour?
It's a good question. So, as the names imply, they are two different things. So bronzer is used for making the skin look like it's been warmed by the sun. So anybody of any skin tone is going to get some kind of color to their skin from being out in the sun, a tan or what have you, right? So bronzer is used to mimic the look of being out in the sun. Whereas contour is meant to enhance the contours of the face. So you would apply contour to enhance shadows, say right underneath the cheekbone, to enhance the shadow under the cheekbone in order to enhance the contours of the cheekbone. So those are the two different things. You also have a difference in color when you are looking between bronzer and contour. So a bronzer is going to be warmer in color, and a contour shade is going to be cooler or grayer in color, right? So what warm means is that it has more red to it. So if you're looking at different colors of brown, ones that you can see more red in them are going to be warm browns, right? If you're looking at a brown and it's more a blue undertone or more gray, then it's going to be a cool brown. So you want to use warm browns for bronzer and cool browns for contour. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. So for different kinds of bronzer that are out there, you have creams, you have liquids, and you have powders. For creams and liquids, you can use your fingers or a sponge to apply them to your face. It's really personal preference, what you like. I personally like a powder bronzer because I like something that's a little bit more subtle. So a couple examples of those. Bronzers do come in a matte or a shimmer finish. So this is one of my favorite more shimmery bronzers. This is the Hourglass Diffused Light bronzer, right? This is a very, very nice one. It gives a very nice glow to the skin. From the drugstore, you have the Physicians Formula. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the color bronzer, but they do come in other colors as well. You can see that's more of a matte formula. It has a very, very subtle sheen to it, but mostly matte. And then another favorite of mine, and these are just a few, there's a lot of bronzers out there that you can choose from. This one's made by Viseart. This is one of their Theory palettes. This is one of their blush palettes. So it's got a highlighter, a blush, and a bronzer in there. You can see that's a very warm bronzer, a shimmery bronzer, right? So that's that one. And then I will also show you here, this is Lorac Tantalizer. So this one comes in a duo. You have the bronzer on one side. You can see it's very matte, very warm brown. And then you have a highlighter on the other side for a bit of shimmer. So those are a few options that you have, right? Like I said, there's a lot of them out there. So for tools for powders, I like a brush. You can use a big fluffy brush, something like one of these. This is a big powder brush or a big fan brush. These are going to give you a nice sheer color. You can use something like that. You can use a more tapered, big fluffy brush or an angled fluffy brush. That's going to give you a little bit more precision with the point there. And it's also, because of the taper, it's going to aid you in blending the color, right? If you want a more concentration of color, then you should use something smaller like this one. So you can see in comparison, these two right? So this is a bigger, fluffier brush, and this is a smaller one, a little different shape. This is going to give you more concentration of color with that. So for the bronzer, where on the face are you supposed to put it? So you probably heard before that you should put it where the sun hits the face, where the light hits the face, right? Well, where is that? So a good way to see that is to look at yourself in light. So if you face the camera here, you can see, as I move Deanne's head around, where the lights that I have set up here are hitting her face. They hit her face right here across her forehead, right? Right here along the cheekbone, along the nose, along the chin, a little bit here along the jawline, right? But that's where the light hits her face. That's also where the sun is going to hit her face, along the high points of the face, right? So the parts that stick out more rather than where they're going to be in shadow. Those are the spaces that you're going to put bronzer. If you're still unsure, look at pictures of yourself on vacation when you did get a tan. Maybe you were out on the lake or on the beach or whatever it was where you got a tan. Look at your face and see where that warmth from the sun, where you got the most color from the sun. That'll be a good way to see where on your face you should put it. So there's a few different shapes that you can follow. I'm going to get a little product here on my big fluffy brush. Knock off the excess so there's not too much. So if you follow a 3 shape on the side of the face, so turn your face this way for me, you're going to follow a 3. So you're going to come along the forehead, along the cheekbone, and along the jawline, right? So I'm going to come up here. I put all of the color on the tip of my brush, but I'm going to use the side so that I don't get a big spot of concentration of color there. So I'm going to put here, blending down along the hairline, and along the cheekbone. Now, when you come down along the cheekbone, make sure you're not coming too low. The sun does not hit the face in the contour under the cheekbone. It hits on the cheekbone. But in order to leave room for the blush, you want to make sure that you don't come too far in and that you keep it at the bottom of the cheekbone. So if you feel where your cheekbone is, right, that's the hollow right there where my finger is. That's the hollow. I want to come right next to that. So I'm at the bottom part of the cheekbone, right? And then the bottom part of the 3 is going to be along the jawline. Again, don't come under the jawline. The sun is not going to hit you under the face unless you're walking around with your chin up in the air, right? It's going to hit you right here. So then we'll get the other side. Blend it back up into the hairline. Right, and then for the center of the face, you want to think of a W shape going across the nose, right? But you want to make sure that you're not bringing the color down here into these folds here, the nasolabial folds here that run from the nose down around the mouth. That will just make you, it'll draw the face down and make you look kind of angry, right? That's what we do for character makeup, to make people look angry. So don't bring too much color here in those folds, right? You want to make sure that you keep the color along the cheekbone, up here on the nose, right? See how I'm coming higher up here, not down here? Turn. And along the cheekbone. So nose, cheekbones, forehead. Look at your forehead. If you have a small forehead, you may want to skip the forehead. Sometimes I like to bring it up here, right on the outside of the brow, so that you don't look like you have a mask, right, around the eyes. Maybe bring a little bit onto the chin. You can bring it down the neck, right, so that your face doesn't look a different color than the rest of you. And there you have a nice bronzed, glowy skin. So that's how you would apply bronzer to the face as opposed to contour. We can do that in another video. So that's bronzer. If you have any questions, I will leave my contact information down below. Please feel free to reach out to me. I hope that you have a great day, and thank you for watching. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.